How do enduro races get to be so fast? Hi, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered how enduro racers, downhill racers and cross-country racers get those super fast starts that get them those extra few seconds? Well, in this series I'm going to show you just how I do it and how it compares to the pro riders, and why those starts and the gear that you're in makes all the difference to the speed that you're carrying into the first feature, the uphill sprints that you might be doing. It's all about your gears to start with. We'll do a few demonstrations of different gearing so you can see, and then we'll take it from there. Hope you enjoy this one. As you can see on the track, I've marked out a little bit of a start line. These are just going to be for little 10-second sprints using the uphill fire road, and this is just for practice for my starts and sprint intervals. I'll probably look at doing, depending on the time of the year, as it gets closer to the season, I'll start doing probably 10 of these. Today I'm just going to do 5, but I'm not going to film them all because you don't need to see them all. The reason I do interval sprint training is just so I can increase my power and stamina for these starts, and it's also going to come in useful during race season for these little kicky efforts in the middle of races where you've got little slopes that you want to power into and get back on the power coming out of corners, etc., where you have to. I'm going to start my next sprint in a slightly easier gear. I was too slow away off the line there. So this is the gear that I normally start my races in anyway. I was a gear too hard then. So effort number 2. 3, 2, 1, go! Roll down recovery, and if you can, try and have a minute between your intervals. If you want a good rest, you can of course shorten that. I'm doing 30 seconds, and this is just my workouts. That's all these are. So feel free if you want to copy them, but it's at your own risk, of course. You know, we have to be careful in this day and age. Just as an example, I'm going to show you the difference between standing up, pedalling hard and aggressively like I've been doing, and the difference between sitting down and pedalling. So maybe if you're a beginner, you're not very confident at standing up and pedalling hard, it's worth practicing it. There's your difference. I'm going to try and sit down for this. So, hope that gives you a few tips. We're going to move to do some gym stuff, show how what I'm doing here transfers and comes from the work that I'm also doing in the gym. That's going to be something that comes out in another week or two's time, probably just after Christmas. Yeah, this should come out just before Christmas. So we're going to see how that transfers now into proper race starts on a relatively flat section of trail at the start, and then it comes into a little bit more technical stuff, similar to what you're going to find in real world enduros as well. So nice little bit of pedaling to get us into that start rhythm, and then we'll see how we go. Good one. So there you have two starts I think are similar to many of the starts that you have on things like the mini downhill. A couple of the stages at Boltby Bash start very similar to this. Get a few pedal strokes in before it starts to drop away a bit. But as you see, starting with the right gear just helps you carry all your momentum into the first couple of features. And I barely pedalled after the first couple of features, just used the pump of the bike and the track to keep my speed up. There you go, alright. Go on in. This is a relatively flat, slightly descending start, straight into a corner. So the important thing here is to be in the right gear. So for this, I am starting on the gear that I'd normally begin on an enduro race. Slap bang in the middle of my cassette and see the difference. Now, because we've got a slight downhill on this, I couldn't afford to try another gear down. And again, I've gone one more gear down, so the start for this should just mean a little bit more pedalling. But once I get into this first corner, I should already be at the speed I want to carry for the rest of the turns. Let's have a look. One gear harder than the first one. That was interesting. Did you see that? As I come off this first turn, because I was putting so much effort in to get my speed up, I ran wide and I ended up losing a pedal. So that shows you the difference, putting too much effort into your start and being in the right gear. For me, that's a big learning curve right there. You have to let me know how you find these starts. Do you find it an harder gear works better for you? If you're going straight into a downhill, harder gear all the time, because it's half a crank and then you're in, and then you're down to carrying your speed, pumping, and then pedaling again to get your momentum where you need to. But yeah, we'll go back to this again. Another start in my regular gearing. Now, if you've ever wondered how the pros do it, it's not just coincidence. They practice these starts. So what I've done already is just opened my eyes a little bit to the things I'm trying to get across in the video. For me, just as an average 55-year-old mountain bike rider who races a bit, the difference in the start and the gear that you're in and the type of trail you're riding makes all of the difference to the kind of start that you're going to get. And those starts mean how you settle into the rest of your rhythm, how you settle into the rest of the race on that particular stage, or your downhill run. Vital seconds right there. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching. Hopefully you found one or two things useful that I've said. If you've got anything that you think I've missed that you'd like to add, drop it in the comments. If you get a chance, give us a like and subscribe. And again, as always, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you taking the time to spend watching it, and also I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you again for the next one somewhere on the hill. Okay, cheers. Right then.